Hello and welcome to the BioFit with Us podcast, episode 76. And I'm not sure what other episode we're on, but hello.
Hello, everybody.
Glad to see you found your voice again, Shannon.
I
We'll see how it goes.
know me and Kyle couldn't get a word in edgewise last week.
Yeah. It's my show and you're just featuring.
By the way, it sounds like both me and Kyle are having the most damn mornings of all damn mornings. Kyle, you're literally awake 5 minutes.
I don't really even want to speak about it. Yeah, Finn went to bed. I decided he was going to sleep about 5:30 last night. And then I woke up this morning to like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, whatever it was. Literally jumped into the quickest shower of all time. Couldn't find boxers. I have boxers now. Not that it matters to this podcast, but I went to go and try and get some caffeine. No coffee left in the instant coffee. No coffee pods left. I then went into the fridge to see if there was any Monster. There's no Monster. There's not a bit of caffeine inside.
Excellent. You've actually made me feel really, really good about my morning so far. When you say 5:30 last night, do you mean 5:30 a.m. this morning?
I mean, like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, whatever.
Oh my God.
And what was
So,
he doing? I'm curious about, like, what do babies do that they're just like, I'm going to stay awake?
He's got he got his jabs a couple of days ago, but he's also got flu, as do I, as does everybody. And he's teething as well. So all three of those, he's just crawling up on you. He's pulling himself up. He's crying when he can't get up. He's trying to move. To him, it's the middle of the day. It's brutal.
aye, it's tough going, mate. I take my hat off to you for still showing up to the pod.
Well, yet to see if I've still shown up yet, mate. It's early days.
I was thinking I'm going to come on and tell the guys how much of a damn morning I've had. You've literally just, I don't even want to talk about it now because mine sounds fucking 5 star compared to yours.
Give us it anyway. Go on.
I was just going to say, mate, I've not been showered. At least you've had a shower. I've not managed to shower. I've got yesterday's greasy hair, as you can see. I'm still sitting in my Batman pajamas. Oh fuck. That's how bad my grease is in my hair. Look what I've just done to my fringe. I'm still sitting in my Batman pajamas. However, I am just about to get a second helping of caffeine, so that's going to get me through it.
What a dick.
Shannon, how has your morning been? Hopefully better than
Well,
ours.
I also have no coffee in my house. I've ran out of pods. But I'm not as cranky as Kyle. Checking in on my girls. Everything seems to be going smooth. So I've had actually an all right morning. My child Milo hasn't bothered me, so I'm all G.
Excellent. Love that. Love that. By the way, this just popped up on my feed this morning. Kyle, do you know we are now officially bilingual?
Oh, with Spanish now.
No. Scots has been recognised as an official language.
I would have just assumed it was.
No, I think there's an argument to say it's a dialect of English. But now it's been recognised as its own language. So there you go. Fucking bilingual as fuck up in this place.
I'll add that to my CV, mate. My very extensive CV.
Bilingual. So Scots, of course, not everybody apparently can speak Scots because there's many dialects of Scots. I believe Glaswegian is one of them. So there you go. We can now speak Scots and English, and we can. Have you ever read a book in like Scots?
No.
I realise I'm saying Scots and not Scottish because it's Scots that's been officially recognised. But like Rabbie Burns is Scots. Like, have you ever read it in or heard it said in like Scots language
Oh,
and
yeah.
understood it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say understood it, mate. I've got a grasp of it, but
That's the kind of language that I'm referring to, and apparently it comes from it's like a combination of like Old English and Germanic, I believe, which is quite bizarre.
mate, I barely understood Lord of the Rings when I was reading J.R.R. Tolkien, let alone Rabbie Burns.
To be fair, it's very different to Scots. Try a Northern Welsh book.
Oh, mate, I've seen Trainspotting, that's enough.
Aye, to be fair, it's written in Edinburgh slang. So some words I'm like, oh, need to Google that. But it's a challenge, Shannon. I definitely recommend trying to read an Irvine Welsh book or like like a Robbie Burns poem or something like that, and seeing if you can understand it. This will be like me trying to pronounce Irish names.
Gary, I'm dyslexic, so I just make up my own language as it is in my head.
It might, it probably would look normal English to you then.
Yeah, it's probably I'll be fluent or something.
When you
100%.
when you message Shannon, it's like a free word response. Shannon will still voice message you. That's,
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Why would I type when I can talk? And even last week in the podcast, I talk so much. Like, you know, I love talking.
yeah, I feel like this podcast will be like the comeback of Molly May.
Molly May deserves justice.
She's still in it.
Fresh coffee team.
Oh, fuck off.
Jealous.
Shall we get Freddie on the pod?
Get him on.
We love babies.
Hello.
Hello.
Yay! Hey, big man.
What's
He's
happening?
very confused. He's had a great morning. Him and Rachel slept till 9 a.m. Sorry, Kyle, I didn't mean to rub that one in.
Fuck, I'm just getting
Nice.
belters here.
You gonna wee smile? You gonna wee smile for the pod? Right, all of our listeners that don't watch are like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, Gary's just brought his child in, that's all.
There we go.
And just
He's
three
ready.
gimps are smiling at a baby.
There was something else that I was going to ask. Oh, I've written a note down for this episode, Irish TikTokers. You were going to cover it this week.
Oh man, let's just let it go. Let's just.
Oh, you said
I think
last
they've
week.
saved themselves now. I think they've apologized. So it's all G again, the
How,
Irish
how,
TikToker world.
what was that? My God, I need a shower. What was happening?
A few weeks ago, Electric Picnic happened, the biggest festival in Ireland.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hate them get invited, as they do every fucking year. And apparently that's not acceptable anymore because Electric Picnic is associated with Coca-Cola. And everyone was like, nah, yous are causing all the problems in Gaza now because yous went to this event and it's with Coca-Cola and you're the and they absolutely flettered them over it. And I'm like, but what about the 80,000 people that actually bought their tickets? Are they not the problem too? But that wasn't acceptable. Like, it was the Irish influencers were the worst in the world. So they all had to apologise and now they're all G.
That is very confusing to me. I'm not sure I really understood what happened, but I'm glad they're all G.
Well, I hope they're all G. I haven't heard any more since my fucking TikTok was full of all the nonsense. And I was just like, this is like mediocre problems, lads. They're looking for something.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. In other news, Ricky Hatton. Kyle, what do you think of that?
Oh mate, it's a sad time. Yeah.
What's that?
Ricky Hatton's boxer,
People's champ,
British
Shannon.
boxer.
Never take me to a pub quiz because I can't identify anyone.
He
Um,
fought Floyd Mayweather.
Sure, there's loads of people not fighting at this
Loads
point.
of people.
That's probably the best comment you've ever had, Shannon. Yeah.
And it was very, very true. I actually seen him 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, two
A
weeks
local
ago.
celeb.
No, he was in Tenerife.
Oh,
He's got apparently. I was saying he had a house in Tenerife, and we were in the Dubliner, and he was just there. And a couple of my mates got a photo of him, and then 2 weeks later, he's found dead in his home.
Oofed. Seen him in
that's
Glasgow.
really sad.
You seen him in Glasgow?
Seen him in Glasgow, mate. Yeah, it was about when we were at college, 15 years ago, mate. I was
Uh,
walking across the road and I looked over in one of the cars and I was like, fuck, there's Ricky Hatton in the car, literally looking straight at me. And every part of me, that way you recognise somebody, I was a bit of wave. And then I'm like, oh, he doesn't know who I am. I know who he is. And I literally had to hold my other hand down so I didn't wave at him.
He would have waved back. He's a sound guy. Like he was talking away to us, like no bother at all.
He's not waving back anymore.
Well, that's true. That is very true.
From all accounts, I
don't-
love the life, mate.
Mate, speaking about waving at people that you don't know, or that you know that they don't know you, I was me and my mate Scott went to pick up some pizza. This was like 10, 12 years ago. It was during the time of um Scottish independence kind of referendum carry on. And we were in Shannons and Nicola Sturgeon was walking down the street with like a whole team. I don't know if they were bodyguards or just like other politicians or whatever. And my mate rolled the window down, well, pressed the button and put the window down. It was hanging at the window, and he's waving at her, and she's fucking like that, waving back. So people will wave back, mate. Celebrities will wave back.
Holly Maywood.
What is it? What is going on with Holly May? I'm so confused.
Just think she's a nice person, and Kyle doesn't. She's
Fair enough. Oh, is that
got a
her
hard
last week?
time. Her child's biting people at the moment.
Well, it's the parents' fault. Last week,
Apparently, it's an epidemic at the moment of children biting each other in like schools, like play schools, and apparently it's an actual thing where kids are just biting each other, and she's now going through the middle of it because the child just wants to bite and starts listing people she wants to bite as well, which is a bit concerning.
I stand by the fact that she's a dick, and
right.
She makes a good tan. Oh, that's my fun fact for the
Wait,
week. Ireland's the '1 country for buying fake tan products.
I'm not fucking surprised if I'm being honest.
No, we're so pale.
Yeah. Do you know it's funny when we were in Vietnam? If you've ever been to any kind of Southeast Asian kind of countries, they actually try and do the opposite, where they try and make their skin as white and as pale as possible. And we were sitting, I'm not joking, Vietnam. I can't remember the name. Hue, I think it was. We were sitting in Hue, at just like a fucking little coffee shop because it was 41 degrees outside, and we needed a nice coffee to cool down. And we watched these girls come out of a nursery, workers coming out of nursery. They put about 5 layers of clothing on to go out into 41 degrees heat, which is for me fucking unbearable. But we got speaking to one of the little kind of street vendors as to why they do that. So she's seen Rachel wearing like a wee vest and shorts, and she's like, "Are you not like worried about like going dark?" And Rachel's like, "No, I want a tan. Like, I want to go dark." She's like, "Why?" And she went, "Oh no, we see that here is like poor people. So poor people in like Vietnam, it's people that work in the rice paddies, it's people that work in the fields, it's poor
Out in the
people.
sun all day.
Yes, people that are more pale skinned and whiter, that's more elegant, more class, more money, more, like higher up in the chain as such. Which we found really bizarre because we are over here in, like a white country, Ireland, Scotland, we're chasing the tan and they're fucking running
We're
away for
chasing
the
the
tan.
sun.
Chasing the sun as well. If you kind of get the real sun, you may as well just buy the fake shit. But yeah, I just found that so like such a cultural difference. So mad in my like.
That makes so much sense now. And this goes back a few years when I went to Prague with one of the girls. Now, bear in mind, I had snow white hair back then, like bleach blonde, and I'm as pale as they come. And I used to be stopped everywhere we went when we were in Prague for photos. And my
Yeah,
friend Danielle was like, "Are you a celebrity that I don't know about?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like,
Irish TikToking legend.
that's just before TikTok was a thing. It was me. But yeah, a lot of like Asian people would stop me, take pictures of me, take pictures with me, touch my hair, touch my skin, and I was just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
There
I
you
actually
go.
thought I was going to be taken at one point. I was really scared. I actually hate Prague since then. I've never gone back. I
But
felt so uncomfortable.
that answers it, and it's just a cultural thing. Like they see that as they see you as having been. They see you with respect, having lots of money,
maybe you should go back
stuff
to
like
Prague.
Respect and
go
money.
back. Because yeah, like even when you go into the boutique stores and stuff, like the shops and stuff over there, they're actually promoting like products to make your skin white and make
The
it lighter. Do
Korean
you know what I mean?
skincare and all that.
Yeah, it's
Michael
crazy.
Jackson's been to Prague a few times, has he?
A few times.
And Prague's not even very much like an Eastern country, so I don't know why I was pinpointed there, but I was
Just blonde and blonde
thirsty.
and even like red hair as well. It's not a normal occurrence in like countries like this. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to have to leave for a few seconds. I did warn my uncle that I'd be on a podcast, but he's just sent one of the men down to do something. I'm like,
Right.
they've just
Excellent.
appeared.
It's fine, Shannon. We're used to you not being here.
I'm like, I literally told you, do not drop anyone down to the house. And here they are.
Right, go and do your
BRB,
thing.
lads.
I've got something that I want to speak to Kyle about anyway. So I know we've got a topic for the
We,
podcast.
we don't. I'm kiboshed it because I didn't have enough time to do it properly. So what I've done instead, I'll let you say what you're going to say. I have
Right.
put my last 200 check-ins through ChatGPT and asked it to come up with a set of 8 to 10 questions that are the most relevant. So fire
Excellent.
at some point. But yes, mate, you fire on to what you were going to say.
So a lot of people have experienced what I'm experiencing right now, and my body composition changing journey. I don't want to say
Puberty, mate, is it? Is that what's
puberty.
happening? Yes.
I don't want to say it's predominantly with fat loss because it can also help happen with like muscle gain as well. But I'm at that stage now where my brain hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah.
So even though I am lighter, even though I'm performing better when it comes to running, apart from my jiggered knee, but that's a story for another day, my brain hasn't caught up yet. So I'm now at the stage where I feel like I look worse than I did before I started dieting. Does that make sense?
Say it again, mate. Sorry, just so I'm clear.
So I'm now at the stage of my kind of fat loss journey, right?
Right.
I'm what, 15, 16, 17 pounds down, however much it is. But my brain hasn't caught up yet. It's not registered what's happened.
Right. Okay.
And I'm now feel like I look worse now than I did before I started dieting. And this has happened with a few people that I've worked with. It's just taken the brain a wee minute to catch up and register what's happening, especially people that lose weight really, really quickly. It's almost like a shock to the system. Um, the way I'm feeling just now would be enough to put someone that doesn't know how to handle this situation off. This would be enough for them to stop doing what they're doing, thinking that it's not working when in reality it is working because my weight's coming down, my measurements are coming down, my t-shirts are getting baggier on me, but in here I feel like I look worse. Do you know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it was important to highlight that because, as I said, I know people that it's happened to before, and it has been enough to put them off, or it's been enough to lead them back into bad habits, like what the topic was going to be this week, emotional eating and stuff like that. You know, eating their feelings to make themselves feel better, and almost feel like they are wasting their time doing what they're doing. Now, obviously, I'm not going to give up because I know I've been here before many times. I know it's just a phase. It just takes a wee bit longer for the brain to kind of catch up and understand the changes that's happening. Um, but I did tan a whole tub of Ben and Jerry's last night because of it. um, and it has allowed the scales, or it has made the scales bump up ever so slightly this morning. But it's no anything to, in my opinion, it's not anything to worry about. It's something that you just need to address kind of head on and understand that physical changes might take a wee bit longer for the brain to accept what's happening, especially if you've been in, um, if you have such a poor relationship with yourself and you've been in a quite a shitty kind of frame of mind for years. You know, you've had these bad habits for years and years and years. It might take the brain a wee bit longer to just accept it, right? Things are starting to move in the right direction and what you're doing is working.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because, like, most people who gain weight, like more than 10 or 20 kilos, it didn't happen through like a wee accident. It happened through probably weeks, months, possibly years of like continuously, like, probably under moving and overeating and like taking the emotion out of it. That's what's happened. There's no real way of dressing it up, and like I get everybody's got their own circumstances that go alongside that. But with that said, like, a fact is a fact. So when it comes to having to change, like, a lot of the time, like, physical change, yes, can happen, but a lot of the time we can often feel like the emotional change that. So when it comes to when you've moved, like, let's say you're a stone down class, but in your head, if you're still going, well, I might be a wee bit of weight down, but I actually still feel the same feelings I do towards, like, for your case, Ben and Jerry's, or I still feel the same feelings towards, like, pizza, beer, whatever that is. I'm really fighting a battle to try and stop eating that when I'm feeling down, lonely, whatever. And you're like, in your head, you're going, oh, it's a matter of time before I give in and crave and everything else. it sometimes can make it feel like it's one, harder, two, that you're not going to reach your destination. Um, Three, what you've done in the first place might have been a fluke, and it's just because you've managed to like stave off things long enough. And all of those things aren't entirely true. It just takes time because
Yeah.
you do need to work. Like, this is where the coaching side of things comes in. Like, realistically, like, you can follow a plan. Like, you can get, like, I'd argue that like you could probably get in shape following a plan, but I've not seen a lot of people who get in shape following a plan and manage to stay in shape after that. Like, they tend to follow a plan, and it's actually the exception rather than the norm that you do get in shape in the first place. But the biggest issue with any of that is, like, you need to deal with the deeper stuff as well. So you need to deal with your own self image, how you feel, how you look, how food affects you, like all of those triggers, all of those even like self worth milestones as well. Like, we've all, sure, take it out of fat loss for a moment, but we've all started running a race or doing an endurance event or even doing strength training where at points you're getting stronger but you feel absolutely no different, or you're getting fitter but you feel absolutely no different. And especially
Mm-hmm.
if you've got a goal in place, you're like, oh, I feel miles off. Like, sure, Gary, you done your first, what was it, 3K, maybe a 5K, you end up doing a 3K or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a half marathon. If you looked at that, you'd be like, oh, fuck, I'm nowhere near it. Whereas there will be runs along the way where you're getting a bit of confidence and going, oh, look, that's feeling good. But then will be a run where you go and do like a 2K and you're like, fuck, that feels awful. How am I ever going to be able to do 21K if I can't do 2K without feeling like I'm out of breath? So there's always got to be points and challenges. But the last part to wrap that up is facts and feelings are two different things. Like, the fact is, you need to have measurable, quantifiable stuff that you are looking at, and like your feelings will always fluctuate, but you just keep dealing with them over time.
Yeah, 100%. And I just wanted to highlight that because, as I say, I know a lot of people that have been struggling with it, and this is why photos are so fucking important. I know we always speak about it on this podcast, but your feelings can tell you fucking lies. The scales can tell you fucking lies. A DEXA scan, a fucking Tanita scales, they can tell you lies as well. Photos don't lie. See if you can take a photo in the same clothes, in the same position in your house, try and get the same sort of lighting. That is when you're going to see the changes that has happened. Luckily, I did take photos before the start of my wee operation be less fluffy, so I can see the changes that's happening. I know it is just a mental thing that I'm struggling with at the minute. It's not a physical thing because I feel better. I have more energy. I can run. I done 13K at the weekend. You know what I mean? Compare that to my 3K right at the start of my training. That was so far out of my reach. I'm able to. I'm able to maintain a good amount of strength as well on my training. So all the positives are there, but in my noggin, go on, Kyle.
No, finish. I've just got to keep my
I
hand up.
was just going to say, in my noggin, it's not accepting it yet. It's not caught up yet. So I need to just get through the wee tough time that I'm having at the minute, if that makes sense.
So I would explore the tough time a little bit more and say there's other stuff probably going on in your life right now that probably feels quite stressful. You don't need to go into it, but would that answer be yes or no?
Um, I mean, yes, I just don't know what it is.
Well, I think being a dad, having like two jobs, three jobs potentially that you're doing at the moment, and every hour under the sun doing some form of coaching could be fairly stressful. But
Well, yeah, when you put it like that,
I'd often say if you typed that out and you put it to the side and looked at it, you'd say that there's a bit of stress going on there. And I think often the people who, in my opinion, who have more doubts about themselves when it comes to their body composition, even though things are going right, it's actually more correlated with stuff that's going on outside, because there's a lot of stuff they might not feel that they can control. We often look at the things that were meant to be perceived as can control. And when you don't feel, we often look at magnifying that and going, I'm not quite where I need to be. You've completely forgot how far you've come, but you're like, I'm not where I need to be. And it's actually a projection of how you're feeling about everything else that's going on in life. And I would often look at that and go, those two things are often correlated. And it's actually more so trying to control things that you can control rather than anything else. But just because you're not where you want to be doesn't mean that you haven't made progress. Like, I often use flat road analogy for this, but like if anybody's ever ran, like say if you just run on a flat road for, let's say you've done it for 6 or 7 kilometers, like you get to the point where like if all you can see in front of you is just flat and straight and you can't see any finish line, and you look behind you and all you can see is flat and straight, like you get to a point where you're a bit disorientated, you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're
Hmm.
going. Like it very much gets to the point you're like, oh, I'm going to just keep having to keep on running for ages. Like realistically, an end destination is important, but also acknowledging the fact that how far you've come. But to flip that on its side, I would be very getting back to process orientated. The only way we're going to get to a destination is actually by looking down and putting one foot in front of the other and just keep on moving them forward. Like, because unless you're looking at your path and you can see your house directly behind you when you've left, and like you have made some distance, haven't you?
100%, mate. When you said about the flat road and you've run and all you can see is flat in front of you and flat behind you, it made me think of the 90-mile straight road that we drove on in Australia. 90 miles of completely straight road. It was the most boring fucking drive of my life. But yes, sorry, I know I took a wee detour there, but that just just reminded me of that. But yes, you're absolutely right in what you say, mate. And as I said, man, I didn't want to speak about it because I'm like, oh, whoa, me. I just wanted to highlight it that it's something that can happen, and it has happened to a few people that I've worked with in the past, and it's okay for it to happen. And I think when it does happen, if it does happen, it's very important to, if you have a coach, speak to the coach about it. If you don't have a coach, do exactly what Kyle said. Write everything down that could be causing you stresses, and then actually look at how far you've come instead of how far you've still got to go. Because, so many fucking people always look at how far in the journey they've still got to go and they forget about everything that they Um, have done in the past. And I think that is one of the most important parts of coaching, is like especially for us as coaches, is to highlight that to our clients and people that have come so far. It's just to highlight the changes and stuff that they have made up to this point. And 9 times out of 10, you'll get the client saying to you, I needed that, I needed to hear that because I totally forgot that I'd done X, Y, and Z previously. Um, but it's just a part of the process.
It's funny because it's almost like you read the very first question that I had because it actually bleeds a little bit into it. But I'm actually going to let Shannon answer just to make sure that she is still actually back in here. Um,
I didn't want to interrupt you, and I was trying to figure out what we were talking about.
no,
Just to catch up to speed, I am at the little part of my weight loss journey where I've made progress, but my brain's not caught up yet.
Mm,
So I feel like I look worse now than I did before I started dieting.
oh, not a fun phase.
Yes.
Shannon, just tell me, does just say you do look worse?
No, you look sexy.
Or
Just because I've not had that fucking shower. Jesus Christ.
that's yeah, mate. That's all you need is a wee fucking. That's all you need. A wee bit of shampoo and conditioner, head and shoulders, mate.
I need the
A
three
wee bit
S's,
of
mate.
dry shampoo. Forget the actual shower, just a bit of dry shampoo.
Right, let's get this first question asked.
Right, so Shannon, just to actually catch up, emotional eating, I didn't actually get the chance to. Well, I've put the bones of it there, but it's a big topic and it's actually a bit bigger than what I thought it was going to be. So I didn't actually. We'll postpone it for another week just so we can do it properly. But with
Oh,
that said, I got the last 200 check-ins. I threw them through ChatGPT and asked ChatGPT to come up with a list of between 8 and 10 questions that are the most prominent within that we can discuss to a wider audience. So, question number one was, why do so many people feel like they're failing when they're actually making progress? And then in brackets it says, linked to a lot of people giving themselves 7 out of 10s, but still hitting big wins like steps, training, managing stress. So actually, they've marked themselves at a lower kind of perceived percentage, but actually, all of their indicators are saying that they're doing well. Why do so many people feel like they're failing, but they're actually when they're actually making progress?
guilty myself. Uh, this is such a high expectation, I think, on everyone that they need to do a 10 out of 10 or else it's not progress. Um, I'm very guilty of doing it. Even you have to call me out sometimes being like, you've done X, Y, and Z, but you've rated it this. And I'm like, yeah, because I didn't do it with like a PB. I didn't do it consistently. Like there's this idea that you have to be perfect every single day or else there's no progress. And even we fall into the trap sometimes, I think.
Oh, I think every single person on this planet is guilty of falling into that trap sometimes. And you mentioned the word expectations, and we always set the bar so fucking high for ourselves that sometimes it is completely unrealistic and it's very unsustainable. And that's why we need someone else there in our corner just to kind of ground us slightly and,
Yeah.
just point out exactly what we're doing well and point out little areas that maybe need a little bit of a rejig just to kind of keep you pushing forward. But yeah, in my experience as well, it is because people have just set the bar so high and they feel like anything less than a 9 out of 10 is a shite
Shite.
week. Yeah,
Yeah. And then you have social media that just makes it seem like you have to
of
be on
course.
top of your fucking game. Like, even take it back to High Rocks, like everyone's like, you have to get a sub 60 minutes to do it. I'm like, even fucking doing it's enough, I think. Like,
Yeah, fucking right.
but there's this idea that you're not great at it if you don't do that.
I put it on my story yesterday. It's like it's almost like you don't see people being average at things anymore. Like I feel like social media is one of two things. You either see and hear people doing extremely well at things, or the opposite. You hear people who are going through a really tough time and talking about how they're going through a really tough time, but you don't actually see the in betweens. Like the in
Mhm.
betweens aren't sexy. Like it's weird.
Aye, 100%. Because average is boring.
Yeah.
Life's boring. Shocker.
Oh, sorry, I would say just actually being specific on people's check-ins as well. Like, I think I heard this from a um, mindset guy, Shannon, I think his name was sometimes when it comes to when people put stuff in, they allow a moment to become the entire week. So I'll give you an example of this. So when I used to do everybody's check-in on a Sunday, I found the quality of check-ins that I got were extremely emotional about the week, even if they had a perfect week. That's often down to, and again, it took me years to experiment about this, probably down to the fact that a lot of people had Sunday fear. They might have, like most people ate more calories on a Saturday or perhaps a Sunday. Like their movement might have been different. The expectations of the weekend might not have gone to plan. But because they're then putting in a reflective piece on a Sunday about their entire week, they often sometimes felt that the week had gone to shit because they put it on a Sunday. Whereas if they do done it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, they're actually far more logical and reflective about it. Not to say there's not things that happen on that. If somebody's had a really tough day at work on a Monday, that then has a roll-on effect. But I did find it just interesting that like sometimes people can have a moment. They have an extra glass of wine on a Saturday night. They have a takeaway that wasn't expected. That then in their head has negated absolutely everything else that has happened throughout the week.
Yeah, very interesting, man. Because when you were mentioning that there, I think back to kind of my typical Sundays, and that is the days where my emotions are definitely a lot higher. I'm a lot more tired from the week that I've just had, and if I was to do a check-in on a Sunday, you best believe that that's getting put down on that form.
Yeah. To be fair, I was the same. Like I used to my best check-ins actually, ironically, were the ones that had to be sent on a Saturday night because I'm like fucking feeling good. I've got a wee day off tomorrow, first day off in a while. Like, I was like, I was enjoying that. Like on that
Right,
Saturday,
well, maybe you're into a Saturday night.
you could. That's fine, but I was going to say, but yeah, I do find it's interesting that a lot of time people, I have questioned people on it as well. I was like, are you letting like a moment become your entire week? And a lot of time is actually, well, I usually say, has it been a tough moment or a tough week? Like,
Hmm.
and actually when they're reflective about it, going, actually, it's just a tough moment. And I was like, right, well, let's not forget all the stuff that's happened during the week. We can support you through your moment, but like, let's look at the other stuff that's happened.
Mate,
That you have your pity party.
clip that. Has it been a tough moment or has it been a tough week? That is fucking class.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Genuinely.
I'll get my wee microphone out, mate. I'll do it again. We can do it. We can put it on
And he
Irish.
has no caffeine in him.
I
He's
know,
coming
by
up
the
with
way.
this.
I know that's not a good thing. This is probably the latest I've not had caffeine and the most sleep deprived I've been in a long time. But
Yeah, speaking facts.
question number two: how can you tell the difference between being unmotivated and being genuinely burnt out? In brackets, this came up a lot. clients pushing until they crash, then needing to reset.
Oh, I've been here.
Same.
I'm going to find this one. I'm going to find this one difficult to answer because I still can't tell the difference. For me personally, it gets to a point where I am physically and mentally drained and burnt out before I realise, fuck, okay, maybe it was burnout and it wasn't a lack of motivation. Um, Kyle, do you want to take the lead in this one?
Mate, I was on a call with Kira till 10 o'clock last night because I'm feeling exactly the same, where it's
Hmm.
every part of me wants to do things right now, but like when we look at everything that I've got going on, like I don't have the energy or the ability to be able to do it. And I find that particularly hard because like there are consequences to not doing the thing. And with that, it does get in my head a lot because I'm so used to wanting to graft. I I'll be honest, it is difficult because I think you need to understand one yourself and two the person that you're dealing with. A lot of the time, there are genuinely people who I think you do need to sometimes give a little bit of that. You need to just push through this and do like keep turning up for yourself because there are people who genuinely doesn't seem that they can get 2 or 3 days in a row without like throwing the towel in. And I would say at that point, it's probably that's a motivational issue rather than a being a burnt out issue, or it's a massive burnout issue that they're dealing with things chronically through years. But either way, but then there is the opposite where I've like got a guy, Sean, done a photo shoot recently. He's having a really tough time with his kids at the moment, just with sleeping patterns, and there's a lot of stresses going on and stuff. And like he's genuinely in his check-ins going like, I'm feeling really angsty because he wants to get to the gym, but he's having to fight his daughter at the sleeping time, and he's like, if I thought she's not in bed, I can't get the gym, and then it's like he's then getting sleep deprived because he's up half the night, and it's at the point where I'm like, mate, I don't think you're the type of person because year in year out, you look at his like I've been coaching for well over a year now. You look at his like he ticks the boxes all the time. I'm like, you're not a that's not a motivational issue, mate. That's a genuine like you can push through it, but the issue with you pushing through it is the consequence of that is you are going to end up draining rather than building anything. You going to the gym at the time you're going to the gym and still having to wake up the next time day for going to work, that is going to lead to more burnout. And I think actually at times it's important to be able to pull people back to move them forward a lot of the time.
Shout out Sean, by the way, you're doing a stellar job, man. He is in good nick.
Yes, mate, he is. I wish he would sometimes accept how good Nick is in, but that probably ties himself back to everything else we've talked about so far. But
Aye, his brain's not caught up yet.
yeah, there's. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm just going to start name dropping clients. For the fuck, it is the biofitness podcast. So, Bash has dropped 25 kilos. Got married at the weekend. There, shout out Bash. He done also
Congrats.
photo shoot with Sean. Six pack, first time in his life he's ever seen six pack. Obviously buzzing with it, but at the same time he's like still in his head, and I've clamped him on this a few times, but he's like, I still feel like the 25 kilo heavier version of himself. My relationship with food, I always crave foods the way I did, and as much as I can get them into my nutrition right now, there's still every part of me wants more of it when I have it. It's like there's never enough when I have it. Like, do either of you feel like that?
Yes. First of all, shout out Bash. Congratulations on the wedding at the weekend there. Yeah, mate, all the time. You know I'm bad with sweets, especially the fizzy variety. When I'm dieting, I try and limit them. I don't cut them out, I limit them. But when I start getting in my own head, quite similar to what Bash says, like he still feels like the 25 kilo heavier version of himself. Um, when I'm in that frame of mind, I am going fucking. I have one sweetie, floodgates open.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is no stopping me until I genuinely feel like I'm going to be sick. You know what I mean? So I've got more better at managing it. Like I've got better at kind of recognizing it for what it is. I still feel guilty over it. Yes, 100%. Do I punish myself over it? Not as much as I used to. You know what I mean? Because I've came to understand that I'm probably going to be like this for the rest of my life. I'm never ever going to be in complete control over it. I just need to recognize the triggers and I need to understand why it's happening. Which is something that I've definitely got a hell of a lot better at with the help of yours truly, Kyle. But without someone there to actually coach you through the process of that and actually give you reasons and understanding for why it could be happening, then it felt like I was just in constant turmoil and a constant battle with myself and with food. And it was, for me, the easier option was to just give up and just give into it. Become unhealthy, get fatter, move less, because the mental strain that put on me was so exhausting that I didn't think I had it in me to push through. Do you know what I mean? So I can fully appreciate and understand where Bash is coming from on a very, very, very deep level.
Yeah, I was going to say 100%. I think it's difficult because we are built for short-term gratification, and a lot of the time when like food is more than just fuel, like it does. There's a reason that we use it for like social events. We use it for dates. We use it for fucking weddings, whatever. Like it comes up, and with that, a whole host of emotions comes up. For a lot of people, it is very emotionally triggering. But yeah, there is actually science to say that the lighter you get, to the less body fat you have, the less of something you need for the same response in terms of how it responds chemically in your body. But with that, that's also the dangerous thing is when people get bigger and bigger and bigger, and this is how they get bigger and bigger and bigger, is because when you get bigger, the same food has less response, so you need more of it and more of it and more of it. So as you get lighter, technically, you need less of the same thing. However, that doesn't subside the mental drawness that you're drawing to it that you have in the first place. It's more just actually, again, identifying the triggers and looking at like what is causing that in the first place. I actually feel like we're kind of getting into emotional eating, even though it wasn't something that I would plan to put in. But before I move on, Shannon, is there anything you want to add? Are you all right?
I think I'm all right. Yeah, I was laughing because Gary's like, "Oh, I can't tell the difference between unmotivated and burnout," and I'm like, I had to get a doctor to stop me in my tracks, so I can't really tell the difference either. If I had my way, I'd probably burn myself to the ends. Like,
Um, yeah, I think it's a very controversial subject, if I'm being honest, because burnout is something that's probably often used these days. Like with the whole cortisol trending thing, and one side it's your cortisol issues, and we've touched on this before, but then on the other end, you've got guys doing TRT or HRT or whatever just because they can push through an extra level of work or whatever, which I would argue that you're probably not looking at the signs as to where you're burnt out in the first place. But there is kind of that. I think the last couple of years we've had the hustle culture, and then it's kind of gone a wee bit the opposite way right now, where it's almost like you need to look after yourself again, and it'll probably take another switch to the hustle culture again, and like that's just the way it goes. But I
there's no
think a lot.
balance.
I think a lot of time when you do have expectations for yourself, it's very difficult not to feel that you want to constantly drive towards them if you're built that way. Like I think the biggest issue with health and fitness is you can often see a good result for what you do. And with that, you want more of it. And that's an addiction in itself. And you can then want to push and push and push and see how far you can go because ultimately you're almost trying to check things off like it's a finish line, but you're never going to finish health and fitness. There is no finish line. Once you've got to a certain point, there's going to be another point. It's like moving goalposts. There'll always be something else to chase. I don't know anybody in the world who's completed fitness. I know some high rockers out here that claim that they have, but you've absolutely not. There's a lot more levels to it than that.
Those hybrid rock stars, eh?
Gimps.
I was trying to think of what they're called, and I was like, "Fuck, it's something rock stars."
That was so perfect, man. Just a wee gimps. Just,
I enjoy high rocks.
Shannon, but
it's
you're
just
not letting it be your personality. There's a difference between you and then somebody who's literally like making out as if they're Billy Big Balls and like even I mean it gave me the ick when I was like hearing the people going to the High Rocks Worlds games and go, oh, we represent their countries and like we're like I'm like, you're doing a fucking obstacle course. Like, go over yourself.
mate.
Maybe that's why I like it because it's an obstacle course and it's childlike, and I'm like, yay!
It is not an obstacle course. It's a big circuit.
It's just yeah, it's whatever it is. It's not the ultimate definition of fitness. There's not enough different variables involved there for it to be that. There's little to no skill involved. There's little to no strength aspect to it. Like there's yes, it is an endurance event, but essentially there's not a lot of difference between doing that. Like you'll often find that the people who do best at that are also the people who are very decent at running and are built to be really decent at running. So if somebody can do a whatever sub 40-minute 10k, they're usually going to be very good at high rocks, like because it is essentially a fucking run. Like that's what
Yes.
yeah.
If you want to talk about obstacle courses, come and do a fucking Spartan Beast.
Yeah. Gary's
No, because it's mucky.
GoPro.
That is a fucking obstacle course that involves strength and running and lots of shit.
I'm still laughing at me trying to do the hell and back and climb over fucking the boards. Like I end up just walking around them because I couldn't get up onto them. I was like, I'm short.
Let's get a team biofitness Spartan event next year.
Class.
Only if it's not raining because I don't like muck.
Well, Shannon,
Nah.
there's not a place this side of the world we can guarantee it's not raining.
Yeah.
That's why we got to chase the sun.
We'll go to be fair, the one that I done in Edinburgh was awful. It was misty, it was rainy, you could barely see 10 feet in front of you. The one I done in Canada was absolutely scorching. I would take the rain over the sun.
Uh,
It was rough in the sun because we were on a ski resort as well, so we were not under shelter from the sun. We were like in the open. There was not a cloud in the sky, and we were frazzled by the time we finished. We were doing that for what, 7 hours?
yeah, nah, not for me. Thank you.
Let's do a team high rocks.
No,
A relay.
Team Spartan, come on.
I kind of feel that my controversial opinion is that high rocks will probably start to decline as of next year.
Yeah.
I think you're already starting to see a little bit of it, but I think with how expensive it's got, how hard it is to get tickets, the fact that like most people who've done one have kind of done it, and then like yeah, I don't see it dying. I just see it like being less popular. I think it's going to start to decline.
Aye.
You
That's
can
because
also get it in most gyms now. Like most gyms
Yes.
seem to be holding their own high rocks events where you get the same fucking little sticker thing from them. So why would you pay? What was Dublin this year? I think it was like 170 per
Yeah.
person.
149 plus the photos, 180.
Photos of you're doing it for the photos. So say 170 for the same Velcro sticker that you can get in your local gym now.
That is crazy.
I've had 2 Velcro stickers and lost them both, if I'm being honest. So
They're in my memory box.
there you go. Why is mindset often the missing piece in fat loss and performance? How do you build resilience when things feel overwhelming? In brackets, burnout, stress eating, routine collapses, but also wins like less bloating when stress is managed.
It's a good question.
These are fucking hard questions.
Yeah, holy
That's
shit.
what I
Screw
deal
you,
with.
ChatGPT.
That's what I deal with my check-in strips. This is what I deal with.
I feel like I'm getting fucking like in a test or some shit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being evaluated. I'm like, are these for me? Like, is this my weekly check-ins that he's just gone through?
You both are being evaluated. If you don't pass, then next week's podcast will just be me and Rocky.
I think
Rockstar.
mindset is a missing piece because first of all, if your head's not in it, then you're never really going to achieve what you want to achieve. If you're thinking you can just show up and do things physically, whilst you will see some progress to a certain extent, if your head is not in it, then you are leaving a lot on the table in terms of progress, and you're probably going to give up. You're probably going to revert back to bad habits because the body and the brain always wants to go back into its little comfort bubble. And if you're not willing to shift that mindset in the right direction, then unconsciously and automatically you're going to go back into that little bubble that your brain and your body has made its safe space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You need to create a new safe space.
yeah, but to create that new safe space, you have to first go through some very uncomfortable doors,
Mm,
and that's where mindset comes into play. You know, it's all well and good getting up and going and doing a fucking high rocks every weekend and whatever. But if in between that high rocks every weekend, you don't have the habits in place for a lot of, like for long term sustainable health benefits, then again, you're going to go back into that little comfortable bubble because it's where you feel safe, even though you might not enjoy being there because you feel like it makes you, you feel sluggish, you feel tired, your your brain is basically controlling what you do to a certain extent because it is keeping you safe. Because our bodies and brains are built for survival. Do you know what I mean? Like they're going to do everything they can to keep us comfortable and keep us alive with as little stress as possible. Um, so yeah, that's where mindset can play a massive role in you progressing and in maintaining your progress as well.
I feel controversially, you can almost tell when somebody has almost come through the door. Not how successful they're going to be, but to an extent, how well they're going to get on, particularly to start off with. I find I've never worked with anyone who's willing to actually they're like, I need to make this happen no matter what. And they've implemented, I feel like they've got results not even I feel, I've got data to say that they've got results every single time. It's often the ones who doubt the process, doubt themselves, like struggle to get out of their own way in terms of like they have fixed ways of having to do things and they don't come to the table to actually let you know what's going on or everything else. They're the ones that tend to struggle with things, but I often find that that's getting in their own way. But like we've all coached people that you're having to almost like message on a daily basis just to make sure, did you go to the gym today? Did you get your nutrition in today? Like you can text them at 12 o'clock in the day and things are fine, but then by 4 o'clock they've not got their next meal in, and then all of a sudden it just chaos ensues. And there's a lot of people with some deeper rooted stuff in there. But I often think that mentality and resilience are the two biggest attributes you can have to anything, because you can build on them 100%. I think that's why, like, if I didn't have resistance training, I don't think I would have ever built the belief that I could do things. Once I couldn't do it. So something I couldn't do, I can now do, because it shows you that every week and every couple of weeks you can start to build more weight on things. You can lift things that are heavier. I think that process then allowed me to see that, like, even from a fat loss point of view, that like you can get better and better and better every week. And then I implemented that into business and get better and better and better. And I think that's the thing where it's like we need to build belief and confidence by doing the thing in the first place. But to do the thing, and this is what a lot of people we struggle with, is you actually need to put the action in first. You need to put action in and almost accept there's not going to be any reward for that action for a period of time. But if you do those actions and you do it properly for 4, 5, 6 days, you then see a little bit of momentum. You start to see that your weight goes down. You start to feel your energy gets a little bit better. You start to feel more in control of your nutrition. At that point, that's where the motivation comes. You're like, oh, actually, I've now been able to do that. And then that's where that builds, because often when we have motivation, that's what encourages us to keep doing things. Motivation will fade over time, but realistically, if you continue with the action, you'll then see momentum and then it'll get motivation. So I always know I'm in a period right now where, I've been honest, I'm well out of routine with things. I've had a few holidays, we've had a few things on. It seems every weekend there's something happening. I've kind of kept the basics of the action, but I've really struggled to get to that momentum period, because it's like I'm doing 3 or 4 days and then all of a sudden there's something on. 3 or 4 days, something on. But I trust that once I can get to the other side of that, I'm like, I just know that I just need to do the action. Momentum will come, motivation will be there. So I don't really care what my scale weight says. I don't really care what my performance in the gym is, because I know and I've got belief that action first, momentum comes, motivation after.
Mic drop.
I need to get that right.
He's so powerful without caffeine. I think we should ban you from caffeine.
I know.
I don't know.
Like me and Shannon were fully like we were
I
mesmerized.
believe in myself all of a sudden.
Well, Shannon, if you do want to do a deep dive on you, then you should believe in yourself.
Oh
Um,
God, no.
no,
Let's not
no,
deep dive. I might cry.
I'm all amazed
Our
up.
hormones are everywhere. Let's not do that to me. I was
Um,
ready to drop kick a man the other day, and then I started crying that evening. I was like, "Fuck, I'm screwed at the moment."
I have one last question, and then we'll leave
Okay.
it at that. Let me just. Oh, my pivotal's dying, so I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to get it. What are the small daily non-negotiables that actually move the needle along? I'll just actually leave that there. What was your thoughts?
Do you
Steps,
want to kick? Yeah, 100%.
steps.
Do you want to list your daily
Yeah,
non-negotiables that you believe, and then I'll add in some of mine if there's any that needs added.
yeah. So as I keep saying, steps. Steps is my first one.
Mhm.
It's the easiest non-negotiable that can be done. And it's the one that gets overlooked so fucking quickly, especially now coming into the winter. Everyone was a step king and queen in the summer. They were loving life. I want to see them now in the winter. I want to see them with their coats and hats on. Because this is going to be the first thing that they're going to drop off. I've already noticed it with a few people in my life. Like, I'll not name names because just in case they listen to the podcast, but every day out getting their steps, leading up for their holidays, whatever, they were getting it done. And now that it's came into winter, they're like, oh, I don't need to do that anymore. Like, it's
Mhm.
cold now. I went to the walk club on Monday with Kyle. We go to a walk club because we're old. And they were like, why would you do that? The weather's shite. Why would you go outside? I'm like, but what were you doing leading up to your holiday? And they're like, I've achieved my goal now, but like, I don't need to do it anymore. And I'm like, nah, this is the mistake you're going to make now because you're going to fall back into your old habits and you're not going to go get the steps. And then in a few weeks' time, few months' time, you're going to be like, oh, I've piled on the weights. What's happened? I've like, you let your habit slip, gal. So steps is my first one. Water intake would be my second one, making sure I get my 2.5 to 3 liters of water a day. Um, it's become the norm now that I can't not do that one, which is rare because a few years ago I probably wouldn't even drink a glass of water. Diet Coke for the win, girl dinner always. But
Pepsi Max.
nah, girls drink the Diet Coke. We keep it going. I'm sorry, Gaza. I won't give up the Diet Coke. Uh, God forgive me, I'm being cancelled for that one. But yeah, water and then just making sure my nutrition is 80-20 rule. They are my non-negotiables. Training will come and go at the moment. It's all over the shop. Depends on what way my body's feeling. Depends on energy levels, but I know I'll get back into a good rhythm once the old cysts disappear on me and I figure out what's going on in that side of it. Yes, Kyle.
how does it feel being responsible for genocide?
Um, as the Irish TikTokers Association, like it's not my fault that this is happening because I drink a can of Diet Coke once in a blue moon. I'm sorry, lads.
Sure, there'll be
Yeah.
Instagram protests about Shannon
Your
biofitness.
wife works in Boots, all right? They're part of the problem. Yeah,
Fucking
this
shots
if you
fired
start
here.
going down this route, Boots, Tesco's, Lidl, Aldi, Coke, fucking Costa, start like you keep
Shannon,
listing the names.
Shannon, your mates have got it
Yes.
right. Don't leave the house. It's cold. Stop. Just don't leave the house. You'll be safer.
I'll be like Charlie Kirk soon. God forgive me.
Oh, it's all coming out.
Jeez.
Does
Fuck.
oh, I feel like going on a rant. I'm not going to. Gary, stay on topic. Go on, give
Yes,
it.
non-negotiables. First of all, yep, movement is a massive non-negotiable. That can come in many shapes and sizes or many different forms. But as Shannon said, steps is the easiest and most accessible way of getting movement in because you can do it anywhere. It's free. You fucking walking pads. You don't even need to leave the fucking house nowadays. Get a walking pad, smaller than a treadmill. If you've got enough space under your couch, you can store it there. You know what I mean? You can fucking tip it on its side and put it behind the couch. Steps is a 100% daily non-negotiable habit that will get the needle moving. Um, Water as well. It's very important that you stay well hydrated. Not only is it going to keep you hydrated, it's going to help with energy. It's going to help with recovery. Um, a good way if you're, you know, if you don't track your water, a good way to see if you're hydrated enough or not is literally just to look at your pee. If it's too dark, you need to drink more water. Simple as that. You know what I mean? I know Shannon said 2.5 to 3 litres of water. That is so far out of reach for some people that basically don't have any water. So start by just having a little bit more water every single day. I mean, people that drink fucking fizzy juice instead
Mate,
of
mate,
water. What kind?
I was going to say, mate, we're not in fucking Africa. There's not Africans listening to this podcast. There's nobody that 2 to 3 litres is out of reach for. I'll die on my fucking sword. Like, we just need to implement it.
I don't agree with you straight away, mate. It's like
You
people
need
that
one of
don't eat a
these.
lot. It's like I'm telling people how to get to the fucking 2.5 to 3 litres. You don't just do it. You know,
Oh,
you
do you
need to
need to
build
walk
up to
10
it.
miles for it, do you? 10 miles to get
No.
clean water.
And yous are
Right.
giving me shit over my Diet Coke.
Okay, it's accessible to everybody. But people that are not conditioned to drink enough water, it can fucking scare them off. It's the same as people that don't eat a lot of protein to then eating a lot of protein. They feel fucked. They're
I,
full. They're sluggish. Their bellies sore. You need to.
are
What?
we talking about actual people, or are you talking about the Africans on the adverts?
Jesus, we're fucking about to get. We're in the last 5 minutes of the podcast and we're fucking doing everything we can to get cancelled here. So
Shannon started
anyway,
it.
That's because
hydration,
you said
right?
it was my fault that everything's happening in Gaza, and it's not.
Hydration.
And then
Stay on
Gary's talking
point.
about people in Govan who don't have access to water.
Stay on fucking point. Hydration is key. If your pee's dark and a bit smelly, you need to drink more fucking water. Um, the 80-20 rule is very handy as well, but depending on what your goal is, I would just focus on protein. Protein's a massive non-negotiable, making sure you're getting a bare minimum of protein every single day because it's going to help whether you're trying to build muscle, it's going to help whether you're trying to lose fat. Um, Obviously, depending on whether you're trying to build muscle, lose fat, or gain a bit of weight or lose a bit of weight, then that's when the calories can kind of fluctuate. And sleep as well. Sleep's a big one that a lot of people really, really
Mm.
overlook because, yeah, you're not going to be worth a fuck like Kyle this morning if you're on 2 hours of sleep. Do you know
It's
what I mean?
funny because it's true.
So that was movement, daily movement for me. Steps is the most easiest and free and accessible way to get your movement in. Hydration, unless you're from Govan. Protein, a minimum amount of protein every single day, and then a minimum of about 6 hours if you can sleep.
I don't really
You
have.
take a note there, Kyle, for yourself.
It's not a lack of want, Shannon. I'll tell you that. It's just a lack of can't.
Lack of Finn allowing you to sleep.
I would say no matter what year round, the three things that I would look at are your habits, your nutrition, your training. They are kind of the kind of pyramid of things I would look at. Through your habits, I would look at trying to get somewhere between 8 and 12,000 steps like per day. Eight's usually my minimum. Like 12 is probably towards a push target. I'll lie in there somewhere there or thereabouts. The health benefits, to be clear on this, like your health benefits typically are about 6 to 8,000 steps rather than 10,000 steps. So if you are looking for an actual target, 6 to 8,000 steps, I just aim for 8 to 12. 4K steps before 9 o'clock in the morning. I'll do a walk rock in the evening time. Protein, double scoop protein in my. I always say like a double scoop protein in my oats in the morning, and then I'll have a yogurt with a scoop of protein in it later, like total 0% Greek yogurt, that, and then maybe some berries. What that does is, I'm not a particularly great fan of having a yogurt with a scoop of protein in it, or for that matter, oats. But it does two things. One, it takes the think out of it. I don't need to cook either of them. And two, like between both of them, I'm getting over 100 grams of protein, which what people don't see on that is, see the people that constantly say, oh, I'm struggling to get protein in my lunch, or I'm struggling to get protein in snacks, whatever. See if you've just got first meal and last meal of the day, 100 grams of protein. I don't really even need to think about what I'm having for lunch because I'm like, if it's got 20 grams of protein in it, it's working towards my target. Happy days. So I would say tracking calories where I can more often than not. And then having a source of protein in each meal. That I would also go training wise, try and get some form of movement. Like if it's not 1 to 3 times a week, I'll try and get some form of a run or something done just so I'm moving. Would be my thing.
Smashing.
Right. Where can they find you, Gary?
We're just wrapping it up there. I
Yeah.
don't even know how long we've been going for. So, at Gary_biofitness. Shannon, where can they find you?
Jan_biofitness. Kyle, where can they find you?
Kyle
Right.
_biofitness.
Round of applause.
Dave and Toby.
As always, for the music, I will pop the links to our direct links to our Instagrams below in the show notes. See you all next week.
See you next week.
Bye.